Good morning and welcome to the program Perspectives. This morning on the program Perspectives, we'll still be doing a revisit to last week's Saturday, September 4th elections, local government elections in the state. Well, with the days, we've been talking about it. There has been an election. Some have lost, some have won. But, all that happened during and after the elections are things that we've been looking at for the past days. Victor Radio did a coverage of some local governments in the states, and report we got, some were heartwarming, while others remained things to talk about. We had with us a guest in the studios yesterday who talked about the credibility of the elections and that coaching Malam El-Rufai, governor of the state, that it was democracy that won. Well, if it was democracy that won, we'll still be talking about that. This morning on the program, I have with me the chairman, People's Democratic Party in Kaduna State, Honorable Felix Hassan-Yet, with me in the studios. And we'll be talking about some issues or matters arising with the last election. Honorable Felix Hassan-Yet, good morning, sir. I'm glad to have you here.
Good morning. Let me sincerely apologize for coming late.
Okay, sir. I want to take on a point, and that's where I want to start this program. And by going an overview first, before I really raise this issue, it came from an individual. But let me just raise an issue about the, your overview, general overview about, last election.
Well, my general overview is that there is a lot that needs to be done to make the election credible, as people are saying it. So, because it was marred by so many issues, inconsistencies, and outright display of arrogance of power by the ruling party in collaboration with the government officials and the civil officials at the lower level.
Could this just be attributed to, PDP being in the opposition, and that's why this statement? Or
we're talking of facts. We have facts to back up whatever we say. So it's not an issue of a sweeping statement. It's not an issue of being in the opposition. We're interested in a workable and a very free and fair election. And I have been in the forefront in commending the governor for bringing about electronic voting method in order to improve the quality of elections in the country. So it's not an issue of opposition.
Dr. John Fulani made a statement, and he said that the PDP was punished, so to say, by fielding, or it looked at its invisibility and its popularity, and probably thought it was what to work on with, and so fielded candidates that were not popular with the people, and so the defeat that it suffered in some strongholds of the PDP.
Well, I normally laugh at people of that nature who make such statements. This is a system, a program that people went to their respective constituencies, be it ward or local government, and free and fair primaries were conducted. Nobody raised any objection. Nobody went to court that he was shortchanged. And then you sit down in Kaduna and say PDP fielding unqualified candidates. Does it make sense? It doesn't.
When you hear again that people received that with again coming from opposition, it was with sharing news for opposition that Malam El-Rufai, the governor of the state, lost in his word, but again it did not happen in other parts. What did that tell you about even the governor losing in his word?
Well, that's just a superficial issue. The governor saying that that was democracy admitted. Then for us as a party to back him up on that, definitely he has to go deep into what really transpired, so that the society will be at ease that yes, there was democracy in action. But if you allow your polling unit to be won and then you are going to scuttle the elections in other places, what credibility does it confer on you?
The local government also, with inconclusive elections were there. But again, some issues came up in your local government. What were some of the issues that were points to raise on the last elections?
Well, I'm happy because you, in your opening remarks, you said you monitored, and I can confirm that you monitored because your staff were in my polling unit in particular, not just in my local government, and they saw what happened. There was no elections. Now, in my local government, we have 12 wards, and in these 12 wards, Sabasati ward has 11 polling units. 12 polling units. And in those 12 polling units, only 2 polling units that election took place because the electronic voting machine worked. In others, it didn't. That is one out of 12. Now come to think of it, in Igabi, we have it on record that 4 wards election did not take place. That is Kerawa, Sabon Bruni, Koraji, and one other. And all these things, if election did not take place there, but election was declared, the chairman candidate for APC was declared winner. When you go to Kachia, only one ward election did not take place completely, and you are declaring it inconclusive. Doesn't mean that we have 2 sets of laws governing the same process. We have it in Giwa local government. There were 20 polling units in one place that did not vote because machines didn't work. Yet, the APC candidate there was declared winner. So if you look at all these things, then you can start asking, was there really a credible election? Was the government really ready to allow a credible election after all the postponements?
Yes, about postponements. First date was May 15th, postponed to June 5th, yes. Postponed to August 14th, and the last one was September. Are you reading, meanings into these postponements?
Yes, we are reading meanings because we want a straightforward thing. If you are doing it, you are doing it. If you are not doing it, you are not doing it. Now, what rationale would the government have after postponing 4 terms, then coming back to the last date? On the eve of the election, you are postponing in another set of local governments. Now, we as opposition, they don't know how we mobilize resources. But I can say it, that they mobilize resources from government coffers. And therefore, let them punish the opposition, round them down financially, round them down morally, because they are in authority to make declarations to hold or not to hold. And these things are nothing but their antics and tactics to make sure that at the end of the day, whatever they want will happen.
Now, we look electronic machines. You gave, credibility to it when it was first, that Kaduna State was going to use the electronic machines. You confirmed that, affirmed to it also. But again, along the line here, we had problems with the electronic machines. That some did not work, and for some, it was not fitted for, for people voters to enjoy, electronic machines. Did you suspect anything again if we come to the use of electronic machines?
I don't think that the electronic machines just didn't work. They were made not to work. And if they were made not to work, it means that there was somebody who was sitting.
They were tested. They were tested.
Yes. They were tested and found working.
Yes.
And the SECOM, as an organization, went into training of the personnel, those in particular that were going to handle the machines. And after training them for 2 solid days, examining them and picking those who passed, then on the day of the elections, different people went to man the machines. Then how do we see the fall of the machines? You bring somebody who has never even seen the machine, not to talk of having to have access to work on it, and then you are taking such a person to the rural area in order for him to conduct elections. For goodness sake, are we really serious? Does that sound sane to anybody?
Is this all about the PDP not accepting defeat, so to say, in an election, and so must find a way to discredit all that had been put in place for this election to work.
Listen, what I am saying about changing the names of those who went to work from those who were trained with political cronies of the people is not just a mere allegation.
No, but how did you get to know that?
Of course, we know people who were trained. The training was an open thing, and the exam was conducted, and the list was brought out, and then at the time of deployment, it's a different list. So it's not an allegation. It's something that is known to the public. And we are saying it, and we are challenging INEC, I've been in SECOM, to come out with the two lists, and let's make a comparison. We asked some of them, they said they were only asked to come and conduct elections. They never went for training. So it's not just a mere allegation. We are stressing a fact.
An issue also stood up with this last elections, vote buying. All the parties were said to be guilty of vote buying. Now, for a free, fair, credible elections or future elections, we're still seeing all of this. What's your take on this?
Well, definitely, when you talk of vote buying, there are always allegations to counter allegations. But then, if we are a party, we are an opposition party, and at the present situation that we are, we don't have a single councillor in government. All party government officials are completely APC. And we have postponed election 4 times. And we have all been spending money, trying to raise money, trying to get what we can do in order to meet with the minimum requirements that we feel we can participate in election, and we kept on postponing elections. Where do you think we will have money for vote buying compared to the party in government that keeps on postponing these elections? Let's be realistic and fair.
Now, another thing to look at would be that since all of this had come up now, or has come up, what's your position? What are you going to do now that all of this has come up?
First and foremost is we have made all efforts, and we will continue to make the efforts to point out the loopholes and the illegalities that took place during the elections. And in doing it, we will bring to the public domain what has really happened, so that the public should be able to be the arbiter whether the elections were credible or not, or that PDP is just crying because it is in the opposition. Now, there's one area that you will take note of. During the 2018 local government elections, we had incidences, many, all over the state, of returning officers disappearing. And preparatory to this election, we raised this issue with SECOM. And they said, yes, it happened last time, and they are promising that it will not happen. But did it happen again? It did. And these are public servants. Some are university dons, some professors, and you have engaged them to go and do an exercise that has to do with democracy. And one expects that somebody from the university should be in the forefront in showing example. And he is disappearing with the mandate of the people. It doesn't care what happens. Then you have to make conclusions. Why did he do it? Why did he do it? And we are asking SECOM, let them bring out the list of all those people that they posted, and we will make an analysis. We will ask them. They are not ghosts, they are human beings. We will ask them, you were posted to this place, did you go? If you didn't go, why? So we have to explore this type of things in order for democracy to have a root, and for people who feel that they can do anything and go free to have a rethink.
Voter apathy was also, an issue with the last elections, and the governor himself acknowledged that there was indeed voter apathy. For the voter apathy that we saw, from your own, point of view, what could have led to that?
Two things could have led to that, from my point of view. One, the number of times the elections was postponed. Nobody felt that there was confidence in the process again. Two, the APC still was, especially at the rural areas, went about saying that even if PDP wins, we will not declare them. So people felt, well, there's no need for the election. Just go and declare what you want. So who was going to leave his activities, his means of livelihood, to go for an election that his vote would not count after several postponements? And we see that on the day of election, because it was a rainy season, there was the issue of weather, which is a natural phenomenon. In many places, there was rain, and many people could not withstand standing in the rain, waiting for machines that were not working to be adjusted and brought back. And they wasted for hours upon hours. And at the end of the day, they went home shivering because of cold.
I'm taking this to the national space. Nigerians look forward to 2023, and voting or elections are for the people to make their choices. With what we're seeing at state level as it is now, what's the projection of what it may be like at the national space in 2023?
I don't think the situation looks hopeless, because I am expecting that INEC that's going to conduct the general election come 2023 must have sent people to understudy or to monitor what has happened in Kaduna and make an analysis so that they can know the areas of adjustment and the areas they will take care of. Because all these things just came along the line to frustrate the process. Now, not that the process from the beginning was a faulty process, and that's why we support the issue of the electronic voting machine. But the human factors that were brought to play is what the problem is, and that's what INEC should be studying, and how these factors are going to be overcome.
Election.
If they are overcome, I am sure INEC can conduct a credible election come 2020.
I want to think it that there's more support for INEC than what we're having at state levels.
Yes, there's support for INEC to go on electronic voting. There's support, definitely.
And that some of the issues that you have raised with this last government elections, you do not see that in any way playing out with the national elections.
Not that I don't foresee them playing out, but I foresee INEC studying them and taking preemptive measures.
The program is Perspectives, and it's coming to you on Invicta 98.9. Sharing thoughts with me this morning, we have with us in the studios the chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Honorable Felix Hassaniat, with us in the studios. And we're looking at the last elections and some of the issues that came out of the elections. All have not gone to sleep well with what came out of the elections. For some, there was jubilation all over, but for some, taking it with a pinch of salt. We'll come back after this break.
Are you ready to begin?
Your 24-hour station, 98.9 Invicta FM. Everything that rocks.
Welcome back. Is the program Perspectives this morning, and we're looking at the last local government elections, September 4th, in Kaduna State. Complaints coming out of the elections. And Honorable Felix Hassaniat, Chairman, People's Democratic Party in the state, with us in the studios. Chairman, I want to bring this to you, and that's about announcement of results. In some local governments where this election took place, results were not announced. And to this moment that we're talking, some results are yet to be out. And the question is, why this length of time? Why would we wait till this time?
Yeah, it's not surprising that things of this nature are happening, because when we said returning officers disappeared and only reappeared either at the SECOM headquarters or reappearing, in the case of war returning officers, only reappearing at the ward collection centers, which they have only the responsibility of bringing the results of the chairmanship to the ward, to the local government collection centers. But some of them came with the results of councillors to declare at the local government headquarters. Whereas the law says that you have to declare the result of the councillor at the headquarters of the ward. And this is a complete very, very unreasonable behavior. And these are people which that I've said before, are university dons. You can't say that they are ignorant of the law. Not at all. And before they were chosen, they were given a checklist of their activities, what their work, what their schedule of work demands, and what they were supposed to do. How will you take a Rigasa to go and announce a trade fair in Rigachukwu? And you want the people of Rigasa to say that there's a credible, and that was a credible result. No. Now, if you look at Sanga, our agent at the local government collection center was chased away by armed military and mobile police. And therefore, whatever has come out from Sanga is not acceptable to us because we don't have we don't have confidence in what they have announced. And up to now, there are wards in Sanga local government that the results of the councillors have not been announced. They have not been declared. If you go to Macclesfield local government, 2 wards, the councillors were declared at the ward headquarters. But coming to the local government collection center, the local government collection the returning officer became a tribunal by cancelling what the returning officer for the wards have declared and declared APC as the winner. So you start looking at this thing and you ask, what is really happening? Is it election? Is it the credibility that the governor promised? And we're saying that the governor will need to direct SECON to really go into this because his image is at stake. If these machines were not tampered with, as he told us, then the machines that were carted away from Zaria local government and results were manufactured. What can we say to it? So we are telling the governor it is either he used public funds to bring fake machines or he has allowed his political cronies to go and mess up a very, very important and well-respected decision and improvement that he has advocated and has used public reforms and resources to bring. And we support him for bringing this idea. It's a very novel idea. We support him totally in it. But what has transpired, he must be magnanimous enough and take the bull by the horn and let us know who did what.
Let's take
because in the absence of that, there's no way we will say that the governor knew what he said.
Let's take a case with Kaduna North. With elections there, PDP made a very strong showing, and the question would be that again, how did that happen? Did you expect that? Did you see that coming?
I must commend members of the public and our supporters, because when this issue of COVID-19 that has been happening and looking at the issue of insecurity, our people adopted a method of house-to-house campaign. So nobody was worried about moving in a motorcade, making noise unnecessarily. People were mobilized, women were mobilized to go from one house to the other to solicit for support. And that was the outcome of it. And you remember, this is a cosmopolitan local government, whereby 90% of the people are business people, looking earn a living through different types of businesses. And you realize also that in the last election, market people in Kaduna were said to have contributed money to buy the nomination form for El Rufai. And after he's won, he came and demolished all the markets. So they are at pains because their source of livelihood has already been destroyed. So how do you expect them to go and vote for a government that has destroyed their source of livelihood? Their houses have been destroyed. Their children, those who are working class, have been sent out of work. And the school fees of the university or tertiary institution, Kaduna State, has been, you can say that, have been increased up to 300%. Now, how can you go back to a people that you have done all this to and ask them to come and vote you and expect them to vote you? The level of literacy, whether we like it or not, is increasing. what you could do in 2018, what you could do in 2011, 2015, you can't do it now, as a matter of fact.
The world is evolving, and so with the changes that we're seeing, infrastructural development and all of that, you look at the negative aspect of these changes that we're seeing, and they're saying that this will be used to punish the administration. Is that what is playing out here?
The issue of the world changing, nobody is saying that the world should not change. No. But then, if you should pretend over a system and where you have taken an oath to be fair to all segments of the society, then people are bound to question that oath of office that you have taken. Are you really being fair to all sections? Can you now tell me that the government of Kaduna State that has taken a loan to execute projects is being fair in the distribution of the projects? The answer is no.
If I'm playing allowed to play the devil's advocate here, I would ask the question that what would it be the process that you see with this administration, especially in its urban development, urban renewal thing, infrastructural development, schools, getting the best qualified teachers.
And schools again, are you talking of?
Well, before the security challenges that we're having, we're talking about qualitative teachers, for our children.
Are the security challenges only in Kaduna State? Why is it that the schools are not completely closed in all other states, only in Kaduna State? Please, let's be fair to
if the one in Kaduna State we find overwhelming, would that not be a reason to have them?
In that case, the government has failed. If we cannot provide security for the children to go to school, then what's the need of having a government?
On matters of security, we also do know with you that being the governor of the state, chief security officer of the state, but orders come from above and not, this comes from national level, not what happens with the state. Can we forgive him on that?
I've never had a time that the governor said he proposed a program to handle security and the national did not support him. He has never come out to tell us that. So what are
you questioning what is happening right now?
Why not?
On matters of security?
Why not? Why not? When he came out and said he was not going to negotiate, we are not opposed to his opinion, but what's the alternative? There's no way you just say that the people's children, wives, even pregnant women have been carted away from institutions. You say you are not going to negotiate, but you are not also in a position to discuss with the parents of these people to show them that yes, you care. That's very inhuman. So you abandon the people. Look, listen to what Governor Masari said yesterday, which I supported. He came out to say he made a mistake by negotiating. He apologized. When Governor El Rufai told the world that he has followed bandits outside the country to give them money so that they don't come back and kill his people, has he ever said he's found out that it was a wrong approach? At all times, he's on the right. But in the act of governance, you need to admit where things go wrong and plead for people's understanding and support. Let people come out and give suggestions. It is not only government officials that have something to offer, but when things are going down, you say security is the responsibility of everybody. Do you get people involved in the security architecture in charting a course of action?
Opposition will really come down on government with this, what is playing out now. Again, the individual opinion as it may be, but again, opposition may never see what is good with what the administration is doing, because again,
I don't think you are fair by saying opposition is not.
Because again, I'm asking the
question. When you are asking and I'm telling you something, and if you are going to counter what I'm saying, but you cannot just say that because of opposition. No, I don't believe that. Well, if what I'm saying is not true, let the government officials that say that are not true, and let's go into a debate with them. How are they handling it? Who and who are involved in what they are doing? How are they mobilizing people? While you have sent away traditional rulers who are supposed to be the main people to handle the issue of security and the localities. So please, let's be fair. Let's be sincere to ourselves.
Yes, we will be sincere to ourselves, by bringing, public opinion into all this discussion too. So we go to the public arena and get your thoughts about the last elections and all that played out. For some, it's jubilation, but for some, again, like I said, with receiving it with a pinch of salt, that there were issues that needed to be tackled. And so, numbers to call to be part of this conversation: 081 40989, 081 40989, or 070 800 989, 070 800 989. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Toyalabi.
Good morning.
Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, my dear.
My name is Musa Balam, calling from Kaduna. We give thanks to the peaceful election that has just taken place in Kaduna. But as usual, we were never not expecting complaints from PDP. They were jubilating when they won the polling unit of the governor. But at the end of the day, they were complaining. I want to ask Honorable, if you compare the election in Kaduna State, where PDP got a lot, many local government and a lot of councillorship, compare it to that of PDP in Sokoto State. What is the level of comparison where the PDP claimed to have won everything? And when you talk of school closure, we have seen PDP Adamawa close school permanently. And in any time issue of insecurity, PDP are quick to keep all blame on Governor Nasu Erufai in Kaduna. But in PDP Benue, you shifted the same blame to the president. What kind of politics is PDP still playing? Good morning.
Okay, Musabala.
Thank you. I am concerned about Kaduna State. If there was an election in Sokoto that PDP, as he put it, claim all the seats, and APC in Sokoto State kept quiet, that's their cup of tea. But I expect that Bala will tell me that the analysis that I have made is not correct. Let him challenge me on it. I will conduct an election in Kaduna State. We as a PDP opposition went into the elections, and there are flaws contrary to the provisions of the law governing the elections. And we are challenging it. And if our points are not correct, please tell me that what I said is not true.
Still with your calls. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Yes. Your name, please, and where you're calling from.
Comrade Philip.
Comrade Philip, yes.
Yeah, I'm calling from television.
Television, let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to just appreciate the Honorable Chairman, PDP Kaduna, for coming on here to make this clarification, because I want to attest to the fact that I was fully involved in the election, and what he said concerning the officials of SECOM that came to conduct the election, I can say categorically clear that even in television here at the primary school, I interviewed some of the workers, and they confirmed to me that they were not part of the people that they didn't go for any training. They were seeking for assistance from us to even show them how to operate the machine, because they don't know how to even power it on, not even talk of knowing how it works. So it's really quite unfortunate that they brought a very good machine that will have helped solve the problem of rigging and what have you, and complaints. But unfortunately, like in television, we had 3 polling units, very strong polling units that are PDP strongholds. The election did not hold there because one way or the other they make sure they make it malfunction, so the election didn't take place. Specifically, Kason Kose, Madam Delta, and just on the same roll, 3 polling units, very strong polling units. So really quite unfortunate that things turn out to be like this.
Okay.
So I believe God will help us, and PDP should wake up as the chairman to really help us retrieve our mandate that they stolen. Even in Kaduna local government,
okay,
we know that we don't know what of state.
We got you, Comrade Phillips. Still with your calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
My name is Abubakar.
Abubakar. From?
I'm calling from Tudumada.
All right, Tudumada.
So, this election of a team, there's a lot of irregularities. Honestly, what I witnessed, I was highly disappointed. Let me start with vote buying. I witnessed a lot of vote buying in my area.
From all the parties?
Honestly. You said?
From all the parties?
No, it's not from all of the parties. It's from ruling party, honestly. I'm not a politician, but I have to say the reality. I'm not expecting that. Because all the agreement, all what they are saying about free and fair, credible election, I couldn't see it. For sure. The worst part of it was in another polling unit. I saw a person come with the PVC. The PVC is not located to that area. It voted more than 10 times for the machine accepted, which means they programmed the machine.
Awaka.
Yes.
A lot of caution will be required here. This is your eyewitness account you are giving.
Eyewitness it. We complain because of this, because of our area, say there's a lot of hooligans, some things you cannot say in the public, I can't see. I witness it.
Okay.
But I want to advise the SECOM this time around, they should notice where the irregularities or where something has gone wrong, why there's wrongdoing. They should amend it, honestly. Okay. But the machine, I look at the machine, it's a kind of development where some people will come and manipulate the machine. At least, with the free and fair election. I'm a realistic man. I don't like cheating.
Okay, Abubakar, we got you. We got you on that. I'm still with your calls. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guest. I'm Engineer Emmanuel.
Engineer Emmanuel.
I think the boy was talking very well. But the question I want to ask them, what machinery are they putting in place to retrieve their mandates? Because for me, their mandate has been set upon. So, because why can't they, when they postpone this, when they set this election and they postpone it, why didn't they protest against that postponement? Because I know that at the end of the day, this thing that happened definitely will happen. Because when I was told that His Excellency lost his polling unit, I know they just did that to draw attention to that side, and then they will do whatever they want to do.
Engineer Emmanuel, caution here. Caution here. I just said it, yes.
Because when I had it, I know that is what will play out at the end of the day. So I'm calling on the people that their mandate has been taken upon. Let them go to court and play out facts. Because we saw some things that, if I told you this yesterday, people that they are trying to use that machine, we are not the people that are on board. Because somebody was called and he could not operate it, then they came and took the machine away. If he has been trained, why would he be able to operate that machine?
Okay. All right, Engineer Emmanuel, we got you on that. Here's to our callers, still on the line, that a lot of caution must be called for here. That unsubstantiated statements or should not be brought in here. Let me come back to Chairman. You've had some of the callers to Comrade Phillips from television, Abubakar from Tudunwada, and Engineer Emmanuel. What are you making out of?
First and foremost, let me say that I disagree with your position. If people are talking and they say that they are,
I said unsubstantiated. If they do not have their facts, it must be facts.
We have asked the government to set up a committee to investigate. It is not your organization that is responsible for the comments. The people are there.
You are putting the position clear that you want SECOM to look into that.
So allow people to express their pains because they are in love with democracy and that's why they are feeling the pains. All right. When somebody talk about what are we doing to retrieve the mandate and what did we do when there was postponement, if you followed us very well, there was no postponement that we didn't come out to condemn. We are not going to organize people to take to the streets simply because we disagree. Because we are sensitive to what is happening in our state and we don't want any breakdown of law and order. We don't want anybody to use our protests to infiltrate and then turn it into a different thing. Let's all remember what happened with the NLC in Kaduna State. So, but we wrote and we came out on air and condemned. And currently, we are also engaging with our lawyers to challenge it. We want to do things in accordance with the laws of the land. So I will express my appreciation for his pains and sympathize with what is going on, but we are taking all the steps provided by the law to address these issues and to retrieve back the mandate of the people.
Still with your calls. So you can take one or two calls before we bring the program to a close. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This is Murtala. I'm calling from Abuja, Rodiga, sir.
Murtala, okay.
As always said, and there was full of error in that election, you understand? And I advise the opposition party that they should go to court to seek for their right, you understand? And to my surprise, the party that before they became on board or before they became before they became on power, you understand, people contributed money to them to buy a ticket, to buy all their parties, what they need in their party. And now they are the people they are giving 500 and 1,000 naira to people to come on board for them. It shows that was a huge and immense message to them. People tired with them, you understand? And they have to think deeply and they have to rectify their mistake. And also, some of the PDP officials, I thought they did not, you understand, contribute enough. If you say they do well, they could have won those elections, you understand? So that is my word. Thank you.
Okay, Murtala. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Tony.
Good morning.
Good morning to the chairman in the studio.
Good morning.
It's Francis calling.
Francis.
Thank you. Mr. Tony, my own opinion in this issue of electronic transmission or whatever they are talking, I would advise people to stop praising SECOM or the state government for introducing electronic voting until we verify or we see it working perfectly, because it's very, very disappointing to test run machines, new machines for that matter, and on the day of election, some are working in some part, some are not working in some part. It's, to me, I will call it a deliberate disenfranchising some people from exercising their right.
So
because
to know that it's
why
opinion.
am I saying so? The reason why I'm saying this is I have seen so many places, so many times this kind of thing repeat itself. People keep on praising, just like in the times of which year was that? That people was praising the state government for generating a huge amount of revenue within the state, and 2 years back, or let me say last year, we begin to hear that the state government does not have enough money to pay salaries of state workers.
Stay with us on this matter. Just stay with us.
Begins to work perfectly. Yes. Thank you.
All right, Francis. I'll take one more call and then bringing the program to a close. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, and good morning to the chairman, Adam Head.
Thank you. I'm listening.
My name is Comrade Gabriel, the Tesla man.
All right, Comrade Gabriel.
I think the first of all, let me congratulate in detail, because when they say the election was cancelled, a lot of people call me that Waka Waka ambassador. I say yes. I told them that it's only for local government that election was cancelled. So a lot of people were confused. Secondly, sir, you raised one issue I want to ask, that when this machine were in the place, do we cross-check and see whether they were not tampered with? Then third, I think I have to congratulate also His Excellency, the governor of Kaduna State, because if you see what happened in Kano, 44 local government with 400 councillors was all won by APC. So we have to congratulate His Excellency for the election, and the most important thing that there was peace. So we thank God, and I have to insist that in this but it's glad they are paid, because they were given on the spot at what is happening on the spot. So a lot of us were comfortable having that there's peace here and there. So have to say, sir, so PDP should not forget us to win in close Texas, because we have already made with you once when we were in the government. Up to today, Kaduna Texas Limited have not paid their terminal pension and gratuity. to help us out.
Comrade. Okay, Comrade Gabriel, we thank you for that. All right, again, let me take a cue from Comrade Gabriel that elections were conducted peacefully. That's something to talk about too.
Yeah, in a situation whereby we did not record loss of lives, we have to thank the people for behaving in an ordinary manner. But then the overzealousness of the security agency in some areas, the people have not remained calm, would have led to this an ugly situation. So it is more to the credit of the members of the public than to the government itself, as a matter of fact. That's all. So I join myself with him in thanking God that we had an election where there's no loss of life. Yes.
Your last line here.
My last line is that we have made our position known. The governor should, as a matter of fact, set up, both governor and SECOM, they should set up a fact-finding committee as to what led to the non-functionability of those machines and who were involved. They should also make the public to know those returning officers that were engaged for the exercises and they disappeared, helping to bring a bad image not only to the credibility of the election, but even to the governor himself. And thirdly, we want SECOM to document, because we have complained and we have compiled anywhere that machines did not have the opportunity of voting because their machine did not work. They have a right to vote. SECOM should go back and conduct elections there.
Okay, and looking ahead, Brunungwari, Chukun, Kajuru, and Zangungata, your expectations?
You see, we don't know what government had in mind by not conducting elections in those places. Can you tell me that the insecurity in Chukun is different or is worse than that of the local government? The answer is no. Can you tell me that the insecurity in Brunungwari is worse than Giwa? It's still not so. So why is it that after the SECOM have deployed materials on Thursday to all the local governments and the CP has come out to tell the whole world that he has mapped out strategies and he is assuring of security in all the 23 local governments of the state? Then on Friday, we are hearing that there will be no election in some local government because of insecurity. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up.
And that will just be about the size of yet on the program perspectives this morning, looking at the last local government elections that took place and some matters are arising with these elections. And of course, hoping that it will be a better one that we'll have. And of course, the complaints that have come, we hope that people involved or the authorities involved will look into it.
Let me make a last appeal.
Yes, yes, please.
Please, I want to thank members of the public for behaving very well and for supporting us in the last election. The rains on them, the insecurity, they defied it and came out to vote. Whoever came out to cast his vote, whether for or against PDP, we appreciate it. For those who are worried that they didn't come out their own way, we are going through the legal processes of retrieving their mandate. So they should not expect us to go to the street because we want to retrieve, but we are showing them that their investment will not go in vain.
Honorable Felix Hassaniyet, thank you, sir, for coming on the program. And that's been the program Perspectives with Chairman, Kaduna State People's Democratic Party, Honorable Felix Hassaniyet, with us in the studios. We'll come back with Perspectives tomorrow. I'd like to thank my colleague Joy for connecting us with the people, Wisdom for putting us in the pictures, and Gobadi for facilitating this discussion, and of course the entourage of the chairman to our studios. We thank them all. And the copper with us this morning, all of you, thank you. Good morning.